Oh,
Ooh, ooh.
oh.
Today's stream is what part is it? Part 18, and I put it, dude, it's hard making titles for every stream, because it's true. We need something to happen, so I have something to put in the title.
Nothing's happened in the past.
Nothing ever happened.
Nothing ever happens in Umineko until something happens in Umineko. Hey, you actually loaded a save this time.
Yep. So I was playing Little Busters earlier, and it was just so much better. It was just so much fucking better. First of all, things kept happening. It never stopped not happening. Like, it's so unfathomable. Like, you would think if this was Umineko, it would have taken forever. And like, because it doesn't piss me off, like I actually felt emotional reading it. Because like, there's this character who like, is slowly being forgotten by everybody. And you can see the main character like struggling to remember her. And the way they're doing it is just like every scene is like something new happening. Like if this was Umineko, it would have just been, oh, they forgot about her. Oh, they forgot about her. And just fucking repeating like over and over, but like it's new scenes happening in Little Buster. It's just so good. It's so good and it's so sad, and they don't fucking elaborate on everything so you can think about how people feel instead of being told how people feel. Like
I think like certain games do appeal to certain people way more than like other games, because like some people like who do, I'm pretty sure like fucking fuck. Like, because like people sometimes like what they like is like a long-winded story with like a lot of like mystery, because like Umineko technically is in like a different genre, though I do like prefer like other visual novels to Umineko as of this moment. I'm giving it a chance because like for example, I played Sayonara Oshite. It was like a fucking like Sayonara Oshite, and like I know like, and I thought it was decent, but like playing that game was like kind of like tiring. But like you know, once you finish a game, it's like it's not like as bad.
Yeah.
Or like you can like take some substance out of it at least.
The
Though
thing,
like when you're, it's just like when you're currently playing a game, it's just like kind of like because like you're in the moment. But then when you like, you know, you like after you finish, you take a moment. It's like it wasn't actually that bad.
like so like Little Busters does have a lot of internal monologues, but like it also just has a lot of it being straight up just dialogue. So you're not always hearing what people are thinking or how people are feeling in the moment, because one, you can infer it through their words and actions, so you don't need them to say it. And the other two is like you can just think about it like on your own. It's crazy how like the reader can just think about it. So like what was happening in this moment, it's like it's so fucked up because the main character is the only one who could remember this person, and everybody else is slowly forgetting about the person, and their memories of that person are being replaced by another person. So everybody around him is fucking struggling to remember this character that he cares deeply about, their friend. And like he goes to his closest friend for like, please, he's like, I'm begging you, like you have to help me here, like I don't know what to do. Like everybody's forgetting this person. And you can tell like he's so desperate, he's so sad, and like his friend's like, I can't help you, like this is something that you have to do. And then oh my god, and there's a moment where fucking the, I don't know, copycat I guess, like hugs him and then kisses him, and it's like, yo, this is some real fucked up shit, because like now we're trying to like force him to forget about her. Like, how does he feel in this moment? Like, he's kissing this girl who looks like the girl he likes, but it's obviously not her. And everybody else is, like, treating it as if it is her. So now his memories are getting fucked up. Like, it's so interesting to think about, especially because they're not saying, oh, the main character felt this way when this happened.
I mean, I like internal. I feel like Lamento, for example, like I found it resonated with me because like I thought I was like thinking like similar things and like understood the main character's motivations. But I feel like also Lamento, it's like lots of it is like you don't, because like Lamento's different because like most of the narration comes solely from like the main character. So everything
Mm-hmm.
you know, the main character knows. Like you don't know anything else besides from like what the main character is really thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and then you figure out like what like the other character's thinking when he like is vulnerable, and then suddenly it's like, oh, that makes sense, you know. Specifically talking about Rai's route, which is my favorite route, because he's like Catboy Sephiroth.
What the hell? That's two
Yeah.
combinations that I never thought would be a thing.
I feel like Catboy Sephiroth like has existed on the internet for like many.
What the fuck?
Like...
Well, I'm not into BL.
Catboy Sephiroth, I'm pretty sure if I searched it up, I would find it easily because women will do like literally anything to like, and like it's awesome. I fuck with it.
Alright. Anyways, back to Umineko.
You know, it's kind of ironic because every time we talk about Umineko, we talk a lot about it, and then like I feel like I'm Umineko repeating the same things over and over again.
It's because they keep bringing up the same points. Alright.
It's because, well, Umineko, it's like Umineko. Have the same points. I see how to come out of my mouth now because I'm also a character in the scene. Every character has to comment on the same thing more than once.
George Nissan always lends a helping hand at a time like this by changing the topic or something. Shannon and Jessica were in the rose garden. Jessica still hadn't returned into the parlor after getting into a fight with her mother and nonchalantly was killing time there. When I think back at it, I get the feeling this wasn't the first time he's helped me out like that. Whenever I made a careless mistake and George was around, I'm pretty sure he'd always naturally smooth things over and restore the harmony. Maybe it wasn't something as direct as picking up a fork that had been dropped, but that was his way of caring. Even servants have their pride. They want to fix their own mistakes by themselves, and if the guest lends a hand, they'll lose face. He's really good at reading between the lines when stuff like that happens. Well, I guess it's kind of like an art to him. That guy's more of a show-off than he looks. Yeah. But that's not true. I think he's a really wonderful person.
Yeah, he's still a show-off. Give me a wonderful person and a show-off.
You haven't fallen in love with George Nissan, have you? For once, Shannon had disagreed with Jessica in a slightly forceful tone, which immediately caught Jessica's attention. No, that's not it, I think, because Jessica, I love you.
Jessica, wait, if canon is...
Come to think of it, I've hardly heard of stories about George Nissan in love. I think I remember hearing him say that family-orientated girls were his type, didn't I? Sweet, that fits you perfectly, Shannon. It does? How could... I am not, suitable for such a thing. Not suitable? Like hell you aren't. You've known him so long, you're practically a childhood friend. They say that when you start from a natural relationship where you don't think of each other as anything more than a member of the opposite sex, things start to move pretty fast once you finally start thinking about it.
You know, in my
and
opinion,
there's no doubt.
once I reached like high school, I could never have thought of dating a middle schooler. George.
I'm like, what a statement to say, and I was like, oh, George. Jessica loved teen magazines with this kind of story, and she was always getting excited about talking about that kind of thing with her friends. That's how they groom them. In the teen magazines, they tell you it's normal. She was very quick to pick up on love stories like this. This wasn't the first time Shannon had been exposed to this kind of story. It was certainly the first time she started thinking of George as a member of the opposite sex. She was furniture, while George was an honored guest and a member of the Ushiromiya family. Until now, she'd assumed that even imagining any deeper relationship with him would be impermissible. So she hadn't thought of it. Since it was someone else's problem, Jessica poked fun at it, seeming to enjoy herself. It was all Shannon could do to hide her blushing cheeks. If George were to appear at a time like this, she'd have no choice of keeping her cool. She'd have no chance of keeping her cool. They saw George come out of the entrance hall of the mansion. It looked like he had seen them as well. He headed over, waving his hand. Shannon had to frantically try and regain her ordinary composure before George reached them. Grandfather finally came down. Now they're having an adult discussion, so they chased me out. Escaping then was the right choice. It'd be better to kiss an angel of death than look at grandfather's face. Well, you shouldn't speak that way. But you know, I think grandfather might think of us as angels of death. After all, we came here to talk about borrowing money for business reasons. That's right, this wasn't a customary annual Oktoberfest family conference. Ava's family had visited to apply for a business loan from the head family. Kinzo had vast resources, and he lent those out to his children. Of course, they didn't borrow any money because they were living in poverty. How would they expand their business with the vast sum they wanted to borrow? How much interest would be attached, and how long would they have to repay it? That wasn't the sort of loan designed for the poor. It was a loan for those who were on that offensive. Kinzo strictly judged whether it would be worth lending out his fortune, and afterwards he strictly oversaw its use. So, Rakanjima would sometimes play host of this spectacle, where relatives visited and described their business to Kinzo. To the parents, those meetings burdened them with the strain of having to move a vast amount of money.
Such an awful father. I would kill myself.
But to Jessica, who lived on the isolated island called Rakanjima, it was a precious opportunity to meet up with her cousins. So being able to talk with the occasional guests like George, like this, immediately cured the bad mood she had gotten from the fight with her mother.
I'm scared of my cousins.
I'm pretty close to mine.
I don't know how to talk to people, bro. And like once you like, cause like sometimes you're like very close with them, like when you're younger. That's because like when you're a kid, when you see someone your age, you're just more likely to be drawn to them. Well, I don't know how about now, because I know like for example, kids have iPads now, so they're probably
they're on that Roblox.
They're talking to their online friends now, but
that's
at least when I was when I was a kid, I often played like a lot with my cousins. But when I was like, whenever I grew, like the more you grew up, and like if you lived far away from them, like mine lives in like a completely different area from me. It's just like you guys like grow less close, and like you guys are just like strangers again, because like especially because you're like, if you're antisocial and they grew up with like different interests now.
Yeah.
Oh no, guys, I don't know how to socialize. I'm really bad at it.
Okay, me too.
You're probably better than me. You're probably better at adulting. You're like George Nissan.
Oh, don't call me that.
So, talking to any middle schoolers, have you?
Nope.
Hope not.
I don't even. Bro, middle school is like such a blur for me.
Middle
it's
school
so
was like
long ago.
It was my peak, bro. Like I only needed to remember.
My throat fucking
all
hurts.
Of it.
Feel like I got a
Should
frog in it. Alright. My family is totally stingy too. They probably got money to spare, so why not lend it out graciously? Dad and grandfather will probably get pig-headed and act all important. It's natural to be prudent when lending money. Of course, my father will use what he borrows to expand his business, and he came up with a plan that promises a solid probability of repayment. Everything else is left up to the presentation. But I really wish I could watch from the corner and learn. Mother chased me out. And I'm a little let down. It seems the master still tend to scold Cross-sama and Ava-sama as if they were kids. I'm sure she didn't want to let her son see that. As Shannon hung her head, she thought back to the scene familiar to those who had worked in the mansion. Even Cross, who acted hotly towards his siblings, was still treated like a child by Kinzo. Shannon herself had often seen Kinzo slap Cross and tell him to sit up straight. It was probably very embarrassing to be coerced like that at this age. Taking care to avoid being present at times like this was one of the important responsibilities held by the servants working there. However, the fact that Shannon had ended up witnessing such a scene meant that she'd messed up at least once in her past. Yeah, I imagine so. Maybe figuring that out and staying away is part of a child's duty. Yeah. Ah, that aside, the flowers in this garden are truly splendid this year. George stretched as he said that, and he smoothly changed the subject away from one that was gloomy. This time, Shannon noticed it too. This person, George, could sensitively figure out the situation and always change the subject to something harmonious out of kindness. He It was so smooth that Shannon hadn't noticed it until today. Today, Shannon had really grown to admire the way George did that. One of the boys close to Shannon's age that she had known nearly had all been classmates during her period of mandatory education. They had all been young, and none had possessed the composure George had. Mere moments ago, he had just been another guest, but right now, she couldn't help but think of him as something more. However, she thought her thoughts were mere distractions from her work as a servant. Shannon tried to chase them away with a small shake of her head. Hmm? What's up? No, it's nothing. Shall I make some tea? Oh, well, I will prepare some more of that Earl Grey. So you remember the name of the tea. I'm glad. Thank you for your concern back then. Shannon was finally able to put her gratitude into words. If you wrote it out, it wouldn't be very long, but Shannon had needed a little spark of courage to say it out loud. But George played dumb. What do you mean? I don't remember doing anything I should be thankful for. He seemed to be playing the gentleman in his own way, letting her know that he wasn't doing it out of a desire for gratitude. George's response seemed to be more or less what Jessica had predicted. She couldn't help but burst out laughing. See? Isn't he a bit of show-off at a time like this? No, that's not... Jessica poked fun at Shannon as the latter remained silent, red-faced. George didn't know the details, but he naturally joined in, laughing the same. The three of them lazily walked around the garden, catching up on recent events. George, as the eldest cousin, talked about his life experience. Jessica also talked about recent life on Rock and Jiva. And Shannon talked about her recent work. They kept going on and on about trivial things. Even when Shannon heard the others talk about deeply interesting things, she never felt any particular interest in the actual content of their stories because she fucking hates them. She was nothing more than a servant, and she had no intention of delving into the master's lives. She simply wanted them to enjoy speaking with her. Would only pretend to listen intently and not at the right moments. She fucking hates them. For some reason, the things George talked about today seemed to catch her interest powerfully. Even things she normally ignored felt like they'd contain a trace of kindness behind their words. For some reason, she wanted to know more things about George, no matter how trivial. She stared at him fixatedly. She thought that as far as looks went, that Ushumi and George was probably about average and didn't stick out in any particular way. But he was diligent.
He has, like, glasses nerd.
He's not handsome. He was diligent, serious, and had a deep prudence which allowed him to understand people's hearts and show concern. But she never noticed these things before now. She may not have met him many times, but she'd known his face for many years. So they barely knew each other, and he likes her. Even so, she hadn't noticed once until now.
Yeah, middle schooler. Isn't that awesome?
Shannon, embarrassed by her own obliviousness, blushed. Blushed. George, perhaps thinking that Shannon would listen intently to his stories, kept talking happily at the length of things he had done and seen. But Jessica didn't miss a slight change in Shannon. So she decided she'd change the conversation to a topic she was sure Shannon would be more interested in. Oh yeah, come to think of it. George Nissan, have you finally gotten a girlfriend or what? Where did that come from? Normally that reaction would have been an answer enough, but for some reason, as she was now, Shannon wouldn't be able to understand it unless he said it clearly. George-sama is very nice. So I'm sure he's very popular. Well, quit it, Shannon. Isn't cornering him like that actually pretty mean? Hehe. I wasn't trying to be mean. Well, I'm flattered you might have that mistaken impression of me. But unfortunately, I still haven't had a relationship with any particular girl.
I'm too dirty. I'm too
I'm just so ugly and plain looking. Oh, he did say that. I was kidding. My eyes were closed and I fucking said that. What? After all, I'm just so ugly. Oh my god. Oh, I can't speak tactfully in any way. I'm not suave or anything. Oh, I don't think that's true, George. You talk so bad about yourself.
You talk so bad about yourself.
And I think a man's charm is decided by something that can be measured by his appearance. That's why it's okay if you have a small... I think you might be considered a very attractive man, George-sama. Dude, I think my girl voice is getting better.
I think my girl voice is getting better too.
Was that it? The baby thing you did?
What do you mean the baby thing?
You
I did?
remember? Shannon was being uncharacteristically verbose. She hardly ever spoke at such length. George seemed fairly pleased to hear someone applaud his charm like this. Yeah, because that was the fucking point of talking shit about yourself. You wanted that. He was just very surprised at the sudden high praise. Jessica, now, sure her guess was spot on, appeared to be barely holding back her laughter. Thank you,
I
Shannon
hate
Chan.
people like that. Cause like actually in middle school, like people were fucking wrong. But they thought, okay, because I always talked to this one person, and like he talked to me, we were friends. Everyone's like, you guys like each other, and I was like, no. And one day I got this text message from this fucking random ass girl who's like, hey, I like so. Do you like him? And I'm like, no. I don't give two shits about him. You can go date him if you want. And they try to like be like, no, you do like him. And I was like, what? I'm like, isn't this good news? I'm like, isn't this good news for you? Just ask him out if you like him. This should be good news, right? You should be glad that I don't like him. And they're like, no, but you guys talk to each other all the time. And then you asked to be in his group chat with like the other people, with like insert other friend, another friend. I'm like, cause they're my friends and we were getting close and I wanted to talk to them in the freaking chat. What do you mean? I wanted to talk to them. It wasn't like only like people. It was like it was because like I was friends with those people. It's not like we talked to each other like every day in class, bro. Yeah, these people were like, I don't know. This person just kept being like, remember that? And then people like always were like, yeah, I thought you liked that guy, and I'm like, how do you, how? It's like I always hate it when like people get like so overly interested in like the romance stuff, because like you're wrong.
Yeah.
Stop assuming I like this person, bro. Leave me the fuck alone. This was Shannon's obvious, but like people used to think I was obvious whenever I like, because like one person was like, oh my god, look, you're blushing when I talk about him, and I'm like, what? Where the fuck am I blushing? Because I genuinely did not like that guy. Like it literally as a kid, I would rather date creepy pasta characters than have a real life like partner. It's actually like, because I was like in middle school, right? And I had like this meta realization that I was like too young, and I'm gonna be cringy in the future, and I'm gonna cringe at myself like in the future, and that like acting old is gonna like be like, I'm gonna regret trying to act old, because like
Might as well be young and cringe.
I might as well be young and cringe, so I can cringe at myself in the future. And I was pretty cringe because I made a fucking slideshow about Nagito Komaeda.
Alright.
Right? Yeah, it was like the 2010s like Danganronpa memes. I don't know like 2020 Danganronpa memes, because like I'm pretty sure Danganronpa got popular again in 2020.
Yeah, that was around when V3 came out.
I thought V3 came out like in like 2018, I think 2017.
Oh shit, that was my freshman year of college. I was like, I played that in freshman year. What was that, 2020? Apparently not.
No, you're old.
Anyways.
Yeah. Anyways, I would fucking hate Jessica if she was real, because I hate people like that. Leave me alone.
Thank you, Shannon. Sean, I hope I do bump into a girl who's generous enough to feel attracted to me before too long. Yes, I'm sure you'll run into one. I'm sure there's at least one. And probably only one. No, a lot of girls will a lot of girls who will recognize your charm. Probably want to say there's at least one girl very close to him. Shannon avoids saying that much, trying to find a line as a servant. Really? I guess I'm kind of embarrassed. He had probably never been praised this heavily by a girl before. George's face turned as bright red as Shannon's. This guy's 23. As she watched the two of them,
Well, he's not currently 23.
I mean, they're wearing the
He's
same
like-
clothes.
Okay, but like I'm pretty sure the game stated like this is like taking place in middle school, or Shannon's in middle school, and George
I
is like in high
don't remember them
school.
saying that.
They did. They
What
said
this-
that.
When? What'd they say?
They said that like they were in like this is like wait, let me search it up. Episode 2, Shannon middle school. I don't know.
No, because they said the shrine got destroyed. When did they say the shrine got destroyed? Wasn't that like the summer before the boat?
Oh. Mm.
Like if they're gonna do a time difference, they should have done new sprites.
You'd think that, but I don't think so. Bruh, wait, let me search up episode 2, Umineko summary. And I'll just read the first part. No, this is the fucking anime.
I'll look it up.
I can't find it. It's just like. Oh, this is like the fucking anime! Oh my god.
Yeah, it's sometime before the events. I don't think it's that long ago.
Oh. But he's not even a kid. What?
I can't find anything. I don't think it's that long ago. As she
Yeah, I
watched
just
the
think-
two of them, Jessica giggled sadistically.
I thought they introduced it with like, oh, this is when Jessica, this is when they were in middle school.
I don't remember saying that. I know we've been joking about it, but I don't remember them saying that. Well, I'm
George had feelings for her since middle school, so I guess it's the same thing.
sure you'd eventually bump into a wonderful partner, George Nissan. To tell you'll be able to properly escort your partner as you are now, right? It looks like you're diligent, but you've completely abandoned your study of that. Sorry about that. I'll start studying that bit by bit. And how do you plan on doing that all by yourself? You gonna watch romance movies or something? Or are you gonna learn that from Uncle Hideyoshi? Tehehehe. Well, you're acting pretty triumphant. Men are no match for girls when it comes to this sort of thing. Normally when George and Jessica got together, the parents would say George is diligent and admirable and Jessica's lazy and rude. So it was probably unbearable fun for Jessica to have their roles finally reversed. George realized this as well, so he resigned himself to being the one getting teased for once. So George Nissan, as long as you're okay with it.
Clitoris.
What?
What's a clitoris?
That's not a thing. Is that a boy clitoris?
I don't know. I just thought of that word and I swear I've seen it online before. What's a clitoris?
That's gotta be boy clitoris.
Let me search it up.
So George Nissan, as long as you're okay with it, why not practice a bit with Shannon? It'll be your job to keep Shannon entertained all day long on a date. What do you think?
I spell clitoris wrong.
What are you, lady? When George heard Jessica's audacious plan, Shannon's face turned bright red with a poof, and a donut of smoke started to rise from her head. That's a very tempted plan, but I wouldn't want to burn in Shannon shine. It just end up wasting.
Clitoris.
See?
Oh, a male clitoris on a gentleman's pussy.
See, I told you.
Clean, fresh, but where would that be?
It's where the, you know, on a trans female to male's clitoris.
Okay, but I don't think people like. I feel like people who use this term need it on cis men.
That would be like the penis.
No, they put an example on Urban Dictionary. Do you want me to read it?
No, I think I'm good.
Yo, you got a stinky ass blitterus on you, boy.
There is no
wonder
male
if you got
clitoris
Fat
on a
blit
cis
on
man.
him. Everyone wants to pound that pussy, but no one can find the blitterus. Hey, Greg K, did you hear about Gage's new wait, who's Greg K? Gage new man? Apparently he knows how to work that blitterus. Stanley was
This is some shit.
rubbing his
This word did not exist 2 years ago.
okay. This was posted in 2015.
I don't believe that. Anyways,
Little did he
that's
know
a
he was
very
only-
tempting plan, but I wouldn't want to burden Shannon Sean. It'd just end up wasting one of our precious days off, wouldn't it? I'd be butting in on that sacred time that she should be spending alone with someone she really liked. I couldn't do something that so boorish. I also, don't have a person I have feelings for or anything, so, there's yes, there's no need to hold back for my sake. Shannon's blood had rushed all to her head, and it looked like she didn't even know what she was babbling about. Jessica, who knew how Shannon normally was, seemed to be finding this hilarious. She couldn't hide cackling at laughter anymore. Is that true? I can't believe a cute girl like you would be single, Shannon John. I am a servant, so, also I live here all day, so there's no other fucking guys my age I talk to. Of course I don't have any relationship with boys, so... Which means that if Shannon ever wants a chance of getting herself a wonderful guy, she needs to practice with relationships too, right?
This like red. Oh my god.
What?
This is so exhausting to read.
The Urban
And I'm
Dictionary?
like, no, this visual novel.
Oh. They both want the same thing. Sweet, that'll be perfect. Teehee. Jessica irresponsibly cheered the two of them on. By now, even George was hanging his head and turning red. Your time to shine.
That's me. George, I've been calling you for a while now. Didn't you hear me?
When Ava appeared in what was already an embarrassing situation, both of them got even more flustered. Jessica watched and laughed loudly. Mother. Sorry, I was so engrossed in our conversation. I didn't notice. Oh, Ava-sama, you have my dearest apologies.
Looks like young kids are getting really fired up together. You're all about that age. Oh, I know how kids your age can talk about that sort of thing forever.
Come on, you're still young yourself, Aunt Ava. Please tell us how you and Uncle Hideyoshi met.
Well, he can't be 23 and like she's talking about like this stuff with them like he isn't fucking 23, bro. Oh my, there's no way I could say that. You all are really so young. Is 23 really that young?
Feel like a 50-year-old, yeah. So what is it, Mother? You called because you wanted something, right?
Your father and I have what Your father and the rest have finished
おじい
talking.
様にあなたの話をす
We're
るからいら
going
っし
to talk about. I can't read. We're going to talk to grandfather about you. So come on.
僕の話
About me?
何の話かな
What could that be?
ゃい。今みんなでしてたのと同じ話よ。
Same thing you were all talking about right
ほ
now.
ら、
Marriage.
例の話。
You know what I mean, right?
Oh, that.
別に
That isn't really something we need to talk to grandfather about, right?
何の話だよ。
What's going on? Wait, George Nissan, are you getting married? Congratulations!
違うよ違うよ
No, no.
特定の
Didn't I just say I didn't have any
さっき
particular
言ったじゃ
woman
ない
I was interested in?
威張ることじゃないでしょ。
That isn't something to brag about, isn't it?
まったく。
Good grief.
Ava smiled bitterly, looking a little bit exasperated.
わかった。
Oh, I get it. George Nissan. It's one of those, right? And Omiyai, a marriage meeting.
お見合い。
A marriage meeting, you say? Well, yeah. Surely as a man, George wanted to find a partner by himself and bring her home with him. But it seemed he thought it was a bit pathetic to meet his partner for the first time in a marriage meeting arranged by his parents.
お見合いというのは
Shouldn't marriage meetings be done at a more mature age?
How old is he right now?
I still don't feel like I've become a full-fledged adult, so he is already an adult.
即結の遅く結婚なんて焦る気は全然ないのよ。
I mean, if he's 18, then like, yeah, then like, Shannon would be in
Shannon should look way younger then. There's no way she's the
Okay.
same model.
Okay, they use the same model because they're fucking lazy.
Unacceptable.
They're fucking lazy, bro. Visual novels do this stuff all the time.
Not My Little Busters.
Yeah.
It's your line, Eva.
Of course, we have no desire to rush into immediate engagement on marriage,
親睦
right?
を深めて、年齢的にもう少し落ち着いてから籍を入れる
Not
形で
having
も
her
問
move
題
to
な
our
いの。
family register after you've gotten older and settled down.
Judging by Ava's forceful attitude and George's non-committal one, the others could catch a glimpse of the story behind this marriage meeting. They didn't know who George was supposed to be meeting, but it was surely someone who would profit Ava's family in a business sense. The very fact that they'd been satisfied with a mere engagement to deepen the relationship between two families, rather than an immediate marriage, made it feel like almost a political maneuver.
結婚はね、好きになっ
Seeing
てからす
marriage
るも
is
のじゃ
something
な
you
い
should
の。
enter into only after you start liking
し
someone.
てから慣れることよ。
You marry first, and then
感
adjust.
情だけで結婚すると
If you marry
必ず
based
後
purely
悔
on
する。
emotions, like a kid from the top, you always end up regretting it.
身元のしっかりした人を
There's
生
certainly
涯の
nothing
伴
wrong
侶
with
に
choosing
選
a
んで、
person
それから愛
let's
情を築
care
いてい
about
く
your
の
partner in
は
life
決して間違っ
and
たことで
developing
はないの。
affection later.
Come on, Ava, isn't that kind of rude to Uncle Hideyoshi? Hehe.
私はあの人のこと
I
大
love
好
that
きよ。
man. That's why I
いつま
wanted
で
to
も
get
一緒に
freaky with him in
人
the
生
last
を共にして
episode.
いきたい。
I always wanted to be with him and live my life by his side.
エヴァ様。
Ava-sama, that's wonderful. Truly splendid.
ありがとう。
Thank you.
でもその気
'Cause I
持
wanted
ち
his
は
money.
二人で夫婦をしていくうち
But
に
we built
育
up
ん
those
だもの
feelings
よ。
while we were husband and wife, you see.
そして今の私たち
And
よ
I
り
believe in that
未来
future
の私たちの方が
we
もっ
will
と
be
もっと
much,
仲良しだと信じ
much
てる。
closer than we are now.
私は夫婦は
I
そう
think
いう
that's
も
what's
のがいい
best
と
for a
思ってる
married
の。
couple.
だからって好きで
Still,
もない
I don't
相手
think
と
you can use
結婚して
that
も
to
いいって
argue that
論
it's
法
okay
に
to
はならない
marry
と思う
someone you
けど
don't even like.
だからって好きな相手なら誰と結婚してもいいという論法にはならない。結婚は一瞬。
It may only take an instant to get married.
でもその後の夫婦生活はずっとずっと長いの。
Your life as a married couple will last a long, long time after that.
だから一時の感情に任せず
You should
慎重に相手を
prudence in
探すべ
avoiding
きなの。
decisions based on
そ
momentary
してそ
emotions.
れは
Don't you think a matter like this would be better handled by us rather
お
than the
母さん
person
たちの
lacking
方が
life
うまくやれ
experience
る
for
とは思わない
themselves?
それはそう
That may be true, but
あなたは私の自慢の一人息子よ。
I'm proud of you, my only son.
どこへ出しても恥ずかし
You've
くない
grown
くらい
up
立派に成
magnificently,
長してくれたわ。
and I'm sure you'll do us proud no matter
バ
where.
トラ君は席を抜
And now,
あなたが
Malak has
今
left the family
け、お父
register.
様の血を引
You
く
are
唯一
his
の
only
男
male
孫。
grandchild carrying his blood.
あなたにふさわ
When did
しい
this
相手
happen?
は 慎重に選ばなくてはならない。
You must prudently choose a fitting partner for you.
As everyone related to the Ushiromiya family knew. Oh, as everyone related to the Ushiromiya family knew, Eva adored George immensely. That didn't mean she had pampered him. She had been strict with him and had raised him into a wonderful boy who wouldn't betray her expectations. That's why she treasured him so.
あなたの相手は決して母さんたちの損得で決めてなんかいないわ。
Won't be selected based on your parents'
あなたに
profit
ふさわ
and
しい本当に
wealth.
素晴ら
How
し
can
い
you
女
is
性に
suitable and
母さん
truly
が合わせてあげ
wonderful.
る。今はあなたの中にある青臭い
This
若さ
moment, your
が
immaturity
それを
make
疎むか
it
もし
seem
れ
like
ない。
unpleasant to you. I just added like a bunch of words that made the
これだ
grammar
けは
bad.
母さんの言うことを聞きなさ
But
い。
if you're going to take my advice on anything, please
私
listen
が
to
あ
me.
なたのためを思わなかったこ
Have
と
I
が
ever failed
一
to
度で
act
もあ
in
る。
your best interest?
それは
No, you haven't.
今はそれで結構よ。
That's enough for now.
さあ行きましょう。
So, let's go.
お父様を待たせてるわよ。
We're keeping father
急いで
waiting
屋
and
敷に行き
he
なさい。
craps his pants every time he's angry.
じゃあごめんね二人。
Well, sorry, you
ま
two.
た後
See
で
you later. George
Shannon
bowed.
fucking falls onto the floor after he enters the mansion.
George bowed to the two of them, and after bowing once more to Shannon, he dashed off to the mansion.
じゃあおばさんも
He
行くわ
downs
ね。
off to the mansion. I'll be going with
楽しい
him.
話を打ち切っちゃって
Forgive
ご
me
め
for
んね。
interrupting such an entertaining conversation, Jessica Chan. Shannon Chan.
No, it's okay. Please don't worry about it. Come on, Shannon.
私たちは行こう
Let's
ぜ
go.
Clitoris is itchy.
はい
Yes.
大丈夫よ。
It's okay.
ジェシカちゃんだってき
I'm
っと
sure
その
we'll
う
be
ち素
someone
敵な出会いがある。ジェシカちゃんにふさわしい。
a wonderful person suitable for you.
私と同程度ってことは
So if he's the same level as me, haha, you mean the guy with shit grades?
なんだかうぜ
That kind of pisses me off.
もちろんシャノンちゃんに
Of
もね
course, you too, Shannon
あ
Chan.
なたにふさわしい。
I'm
素敵
sure
な
a
男性
wonderful
が
man
いっぱい
suitable for you.
Yes.
ありがとうございます
Thank you very much. As Ava giggled and smiled, she approached Shannon's ear with a hand over her mouth as though she was trying to tell her a secret. Huh?
使用人風情のあなたにぴったりの相手が
A perfect
と見
match
つ
for
か
a
るわ
little
よ。
servant like yourself.
義務教育に行かせてもらった恩
Have you
も忘れ
forgotten
て
to be grateful for your
身の
education?
程を知りなさい。
No, you please.
そんなつもりは
That's not what I
私
meant.
ジョージはお父様の血を引く孫の中では嫡男に当たるのよ。
George is the eldest son, carrying grandson, carrying
ひょっとしたら未来の後
this
ろ宮家を
person
背
may
負
bear
うこ
the
とに
burden
なる
of
かも
the
しれない
Umineko family
人
someday in the future.
その期待に応えるためにたくさんの勉強を重ねて
To
素
see
晴ら
that
しい大学
expectation
に
he has
入り
done,
素晴らしい成績を残しているわ。
entered a wonderful college and is getting wonderful. Oh, fuck.
そんなジョージと無資格無教養な使用人風情が
Such
釣り
George
合
away,
う
you
の。
uneducated, incompetent, unqualified, uncultured servant.
His malicious words all poured into Shannon's ears without spilling a drop. To Shannon, it was like a cold water was being poured in there. I
私は
I didn't
そんな
mean...
つもりは
This was all whispered to Shannon in secret. And with the same smile as before, Jessica, who could only see Ava's expression, didn't think it was anything other than Ava telling Shannon some embarrassing story about love.
Yeah, such an embarrassing story, bro. Jessica, read the fucking room.
When their conversation ended, Ava patted Shannon's shoulders in, as though she was urging her on.
大丈夫よ。あなたに
Don't
ぴっ
worry,
た
I'm
り
sure
の
you'll
お相
find
手
the
が
perfect match for
ど
your
み
partner.
ね。
Right?
じゃあね、ジェシカちゃん。また後でね。
Okay, Jessica-chan, see you later.
はいまた後で
Yeah, see you later.
秀吉おじさん
Make sure to tell me about you and Uncle Hideyoshi next time.
いやよ。
No way.
Ava laughed loudly and then headed back to the entrance hall. Behind Jessica, who was cheerfully waving her hand, Shannon reflected very, very deeply on the words of Ava's knowing about her place. It's time for me to take a more serious look at how full of myself I've been acting. I forgot. I'm furniture. Furniture isn't human. So, I am a being who must feel gratitude for being even treated like a human. I am not permitted to wish for anything more. People sometimes develop affection for furniture they're used to using, but that is emotion on the human side, and the furniture has no right to hope for such a thing. It's enough that furniture serves with simple honesty day after day. Can you imagine being a piece of chair that's like so uncomfortable that nobody wants to fucking sit on you? That's just so sad. Your whole purpose is to be used, but you can't even be good enough. And then you get thrown into the dump. Enough that furniture serves a simple... It's enough that furniture serves with simple honesty day after day. That feeling I got when talking to George-sama and Jessica-sama is the same as a forbidden drug to me. In other words, it may be an emotion I must never experience.
Shannon? 先ほどからぼんやりが過ぎます。
You've had your head in the clouds for some time.
体調でも悪いのですか?
Do you not feel well? I forgot what voice I gave her. It's been so long.
No, my apologies. Natsuhi's words were right on the mark. Even Shannon couldn't believe that she hadn't noticed Natsuhi till she called out. Normally it was essential that she focus on her cleaning at all times of the day, but she'd spent all that time sighing and hardly making any progress.
たとえお客様がおられなくても、常に気を張っていなくてはなりません。
Even when there aren't any guests around, you must always be
そんな様では、後ろ宮家に
Behavior
仕え
like
る
this
使
is
用人
shameful
と
for
し
the
て
issue of
情けありま
family
せんよ。
servant.
Yes, ma'am. I will take care of it from now on.
もうじき、当主様と主人がお
My
帰りに
head
な
and
ら
my
れます。
husband will return very soon.
書斎の清掃は済んでいますか?
Have you finished cleaning the
階
study?
段の清掃は済んでいますか?
Have you finished cleaning the staircase?
My apologies. Not yet.
ええ、知っています。
Yeah.
ですから、ルノに
So
や
I
ら
had
せてお
Lunan
き
do
ました。
it.
Who's Lunan?
あなたがもたもたと廊下を
While you
清
were
掃してい
plodding
る時
around
間で、
the hallway,
彼
she
女は
finished
書斎と
cleaning the
階段の
study
清
and the
掃を済ま
staircase.
せてしまいましたよ。
Very suspicious Canon isn't here.
Mm-hmm. Cannon's literally just...
That's because, I wanted to clean it properly, so it took some time. Canon was very simple and honest, so she would always carry out her tasks seriously and properly without any omissions. Though she was always slow for work. In contrast, Lunan cleverly avoided doing extra work whenever it was possible. Though she could complete her jobs with a result that looked almost the same as an outsider, but in a much shorter time. In other words, she was a shrewd employee. Compared to that, it's probably fair to say that Shannon wasn't very shrewd at all, talking back to Natsuhi when Natsuhi was in a bad mood. Of course, there was nothing that Natsuhi couldn't stand more than a servant talking back. Her forehead creased and she spoke sternly. And yet her slow, admonishing style of speech was even more terrifying and finally made Shannon realize she said the wrong thing.
ならば、存分に丁寧な清掃を
Perhaps you should
心
aim
が
this
けなさい。
truly thorough
シャノン、
cleaning.
あなたにこのまま王妃様の
Order
清掃を命じます。
Shannon, I order you to clean the reception hall right now.
当主様の大切な絵画が
It
多
is
数
an important
飾ら
hall
れ、
where several
後ろ
pictures
宮家への
treasured
品
by the
格
head
を
of
お
the
招きするこ
display,
ともある。
and where
大
honored
切
guests
な
of the
広間
Shomiya
です。
family are welcomed.
誇り一つ残さ
Clean
ない
it
よう、
thoroughly, so that not a speck of dust remains, and so
丁
that
寧に
even
清
you
掃
are
なさい。
satisfied.
もちろん今日中にです。
Of course, you will finish before the day is out.
それを終えて私に報告
Please
するま
finish
で、
that
食事も
and
休
report
憩も
to me.
許
You
しま
will
せん。
not be permitted any.
わかりましたね。
Jesus Christ, Natsuki. Understood?
Yes, madam.
結構。使用人はその言葉だけを口にするように。
That is good. Servants who should endeavor to only
次
those
の
who
口
do,
答えには、
to only
より厳
use
しい
those
罰
words,
を与え
bro.
ま
Oh
す
my
から
fucking
そ
god.
のつもりで、
Next time you talk back, your punishment will be even more severe. So with that in
よ
mind,
く胸に刻んでおきなさい。
engrave those words into your heart.
Yes, madam. Thank you for your guidance.
どういたしまして。
Behaving as though her headache was troubling her, Natsuhi headed off down the corridor. When she couldn't see her anymore, Shannon hung her head inside. This is what happened when she had her head in the clouds. Even though I'm bad at everything I do, I should be able to at least carry out the cleaning as well as an average person can, right? It's because I can't even perform that very well that I'm crying so pathetically. But what's even more shameful is that not only had I been unable to perform a single bit of cleaning well, but just now Natsuhi was scolding me. I imagined that the person appearing and rescuing me. Only George-sama was here. Would he casually step in to save me? Surely he'd show up cheerfully, intentionally acting like he didn't know what was going on, nimbly change the subject, and make me forget I'd ever been rebuked by Natsuhi. I kept envisioning him, suddenly appearing from the other side of the door, or the other end of the hallway. I envisioned that the kind of person that would be an appropriate partner for him in a marriage meeting. And I envisioned how unfitting I was for him. Iva clearly told me. It's been repeating over and over in my dreams. What the hell?
I think she's being schizophrenic. Oh, what the fuck was that?
What if she's looking into the window reflection?
Okay. It's suspicious how Nazi left and immediately Canon comes out, bro. I feel like she has multiple, like, identities. That's
Yeah, this
like,
could be her repressed side. Also, I was thinking about this before, because on how Shannon just said, like, oh yes, I must remember I am furniture. When Canon died, his, like, one of his last words was like, I am not furniture anymore.
I think it's like, maybe it's like her merging, or her, like, basically, like, how do I say? It's like maybe she views herself as furniture. Like, even like,
What if she wishes she was a man?
I think it's the other way around. What if she wishes she was a woman? I'm only saying this because I saw a trans flag in Umineko.
Alright.
Oops, fuck, I just interrupted that.
Her line, Canon.
I already said this fucking line!
I didn't fucking hear it.
The lady has been in bad mood since this morning. That just now happened because you talked too much. You should have just hung your head in silence. Shannon's
How does
like
he
her
know
more
that? He wasn't here.
Exactly. Shannon is her more emotional side. Cannon's probably the rational one.
What does Kaio mean?
Hmm?
I don't know. Is it a word?
Maybe.
Canon was suddenly there. His footsteps were always quiet. Wait a minute. Huh. His footsteps were always quieter than a cat's, and he never let a trace of his presence. He probably could have stood there forever and she still wouldn't have noticed him. The expression on Cannon's face was one of hatred. He made that expression for Shannon, and who didn't know how to do it herself.
Madam and Lunan can fall into hell.
Don't talk to Natsuhi like that.
You only like her because she's hot.
Yeah.
That person knows where Madam checks and only cleans those areas.
She would also be an amazing wife if she wasn't emotionally abused all day.
Probably. But Shannon probably has a reason why she killed all those people.
Hurt people hurt people. If Natsuhi wasn't hurt, she wouldn't be hurting people. I'm just saying.
Okay, but I'm pretty sure all the treatment from everything is gonna lead Shannon to murdering everyone.
No. I can see.
We
Okay, I feel like if people are saying it's not the who done it, it's the why, then like it has to be Shannon then, because she has like the most motivation. I feel like.
Definitely. I feel like there's gonna be some red herrings that's gonna be like force us to like think, is it really Shannon? But I'm gonna just say I'm guaranteed, just betting that it's gonna be Shannon till like, the very end. Nothing is gonna like deter me from thinking this, cause like.
Actually, it's the witch.
Okay, I think Shannon is the witch. Her clean just now was like that. I know, cause I saw. Of course you fucking saw. You fucking saw everything, huh? You fucking saw everything. You see everything because you're not fucking real, bro. You're just a wig.
寄生してるだけの最低なやつだ。
She wasn't really cleaning. She's just the worst kind of parasite, leeching off your thorough cleaning.
そんな汚い言葉を使って
You mustn't use such dirty words. Dirty words pollute your clean soul, Canon-kun. So at least don't use those words in front of me. Okay? Canon turned away as though sulking. It was a reaction that hid his true feelings, which was very much like Canon. But I was a little happy. He was getting angry on my sake.
大広間の掃除は大変だよ。
Cleaning the reception hall.
僕も手伝う。
ありがとう。
Thank
Of
you.
course, you're gonna help
奥様に命じられた
when
の
no
は
one else is
私だ
around
け
to
ど
see you both in the same hallway.
But I was the one Madam ordered, so don't worry.
家族にも自分の
Don't you
仕
also
事
have your
があ
own
るでしょ
work, Canon-kun?
汚らわしい仕事だよ。
It's a filthy
僕の魂なんて
My soul was
とっ
polluted long
くに
ago.
汚れてる。
Canon then hugged his head a bit and bit his lower lip.
手伝ってくれるということ
Just hearing you say that, just hearing that you'll help me is enough for me.
カノン君も自分の仕事
If you don't go back to do your own job, you'll be punished as well.
そしたら
And that would make me
私は
sad.
悲しい
Canon knew Ken's character as well. Sometimes he didn't think enough about himself. If I don't refuse forcefully, he'll help me even if it means neglecting his own job. Ken was a little sad that his own goodwill had been rejected, but he realized that he was doing what he was doing would only hurt her more in the end, so he gave a single small sigh.
わかったよ。
Understood.
姉さんも頑張って。
Do your best, Nason.
Yes,
それに
and I am also partly to blame.
姉さんには責任なんて何もないよ。
You're on about all,
う
Nason.
ん
No,
あるの
I am.
だから
So, go
も
now.
う行って
Cannonskin's face showed that he still hadn't completely accepted it, but without bearing any more obstinate, he disappeared.
He disappeared.
Ooh. Even though Cannon-kun came in to give me words of comfort, and even when I was down, even so, I was dejected again because it wasn't him. That in itself was a sin.
It
went far
wasn't him.
Well, she meant George. It went
Oh.
far beyond any dream that the likes of me
I
could be
forgot George existed and could be on.
could be permitted to see. I don't know my place. Shannon, who had neglected breakfast, already felt her concentration begin to waver. But if she didn't finish up cleaning the reception hall, she wouldn't receive Natsuhi's permission to eat. The cruel Natsuhi had surely told the kitchen something of that effect. I have to respectfully receive Madam's punishment. That's right. My position in the world of furniture, and I've been intoxicated by a dream that's beyond me.
How often do you need to clean a mansion? I feel
I was
like,
thinking that too, like...
cause like I'm not gonna fucking notice a couple speckles of dust.
I finished cleaning the hallway.
I just shined a flashlight in my face and now a portion of my eyes, like a rainbow.
I finished cleaning the hallway and went to the reception hall. Maybe my hunger made my nose
Did I
more
slide
sensitive.
myself in the fucking area of my eye?
You just gotta blink a bunch.
No way, dude.
I could sense a delicious aroma wafting from the kitchen, even though it was far away, and my empty stomach was encouraged even more. Until I finished up here, I wouldn't get any soup. I just had to resolve myself to doing it. Several portraits were hung up in the reception hall. One of the portraits was thought to hold a special meaning amongst the servants. It was the portrait of the witch. Alright, after the scene's done, we should probably stop. This wasn't its true name, but everyone in the mansion called it that. The name of the woman with elegant blonde hair drawn as the subject to the portrait, Beatrice. It was whispered that she might be the former mistress of Kinzo, the family head. And also that she was... we know this. The witch Beatrice, master of the Knight of Rokkenjima, she was gracious to those who respected her, but she would surely curse those who made light of her. It was in Shannon's character not to neglect rules and beliefs such as those. Though she thought the portrait was of her other master, she thought the portrait of her other master as that person herself, and was always treated it carefully, treasuring it. And it had become part of her daily routine to tell the witch, who only existed inside the portrait, the secrets of her heart. She was furniture. Furniture doesn't complain. Cannot complain. Though she had no right to speak her mind about her difficult days. She had no right to open her mouth and say those words. So, she at least spoke her mind inside of her heart. She spoke her mind inside of her heart, using the words she couldn't say out loud, and protested to the formless witch. Of course, the witch didn't answer. She didn't console, and she didn't laugh it off. Shannon could only interpret the silence as she liked, as though the witch responded agreeably.
ベアトリーチェ様
Beatrice-sama,
素晴らしい
please
私
listen
の
to my
話を
story
聞い
of
て
my
ください
worthless self. As Shannon wiped the dust from the witch's portrait, she spoke inside of her
私
heart.
は確かに
Oh,
I
it's
am
fucking gone.
エヴァ
Oh,
様
I
の
was
言う
so
通り
worried.
無能
It's
な
like
そう
slowly
よ
going. I was so worried. I don't know why. I was like, ooh, look, it's bright. And then I like turned and I saw like a portion of like, I mean, it's still slightly there, but it's going away. I
Don't
think
go away.
more and more.
I certainly am. Oh, I certainly am incompetent and uncultured, just as Ava-sama said. I am not a person, so maybe I have no right to love. But in that case,
だったら
why was I given a heart that can know
どう
love?
して恋を知ることのでき
At
る
that point,
心ま
Shannon
で
held back her tears for a
重
moment.
たいになっ
The
たの
sound of
で
the
しょう
rain,
か
which had started falling, along with the chill air in the reception hall, made her feel as though her shabbiness had increased to another level.
本当の家具
Real
なんて
furniture doesn't have
心
anything
なん
like
て
a
ね
heart,
だから
so they don't have to
人を
love people,
愛してる
right?
だから苦し
So
む
they don't feel pain. If I'm just another piece of furniture, why do I have a heart?
こんな
Going to
苦
be
しく
this
て
painful
辛い
and this
思いを
harsh.
するな
I
ら
wish I was never given a heart like this.
なるほど
Naruhodo.
You see this? Wait, this is just Beatrice is just another of her delusions and personality. It all makes sense. It all makes sense.
家具に心を与えたか
So a heart was given to
あれ
furniture.
も時には愉快なこ
It
と
would
をす
seem
る
that even a man is capable of quite amusing things every now and then.
What?
Man?
The witch was
Wait,
never.
man. That man. Okay, I read that wrong. Maybe I did go blind.
That witch. The witch that had never answered or laughed. Answered. And laughed. Oh my. I said that. Oh, whoa, we gotta end the stream. I can't.
I feel like
Every stream we have, every stream we play, I say something as a joke, making fun of the dialogue, and I always get it right. It happens all the goddamn time.
just because it has those writing conventions. Low key, like, I feel like Shannon. Okay, Shannon has to be like also the family head that Kinzo's under owes. If she's also Beatrice, by the way, and I believe it, and I believe that she killed everyone, and I also believe that right now she's being fucking like she's like embracing a different personality. This theory might seem so far fetched, but like I'm convinced.
I'm just like
convinced.
worried that like eventually we'll have like Cannon and Shannon in the same room and like everybody's talking to them.
I don't think so. Okay. 'cause,
Like,
this has
how do I explain this now?
No. I'm gonna commit to this theory to the very end, and if I'm right, you have to refund Umineko. It's too late, but you have
It's
to.
too late. They wouldn't even
You
refund
have-
me when I fucking wanted them to.
But like, I literally like if I solve the mystery, like then and there, I'll be. So
I don't know
happy.
about you. I think it's more of a we.
Okay. What did you do? Well, what did you
I put
contribute
in
to
the
my-
details and context clues.
Okay, buddy. You weren't convinced until you weren't convinced after episode 1, even though I was like, I think Canon
Well,
killed the
I mean, you
Joker."
said it, but then it's like I put together the evidence, you know.
Okay, fine, yeah, sure. It was us thing. We did it together.
All right. So nothing happened again. Nothing ever happened. We had fucking
no, my
Jessica
goodness.
playing Cupid
I
for an
tried,
hour.
like- Oh my god, I hated those fucking kids in middle school. They didn't do it to me in high school because no one knew me in high school, but
Yeah. Like it's fun when it's like somebody you actually like. But
Mhm.
when people do that and it's like somebody you don't like, it's like, please shut up.
like, oh fuck, I fucked up in Block Blast, but I didn't. Okay, but like,
You blocked
yeah,
my blast.
they almost just lost my Block Blast game.
All right.
I say.
Any last words? What
My
about just so
theory is-
better?
That was like a boring episode. People say the beginning of episode 2 is gonna be boring.
Yeah, this is where I dropped it. Well, I've seen a bit more than I've probably seen the next hour of it. No, I've probably seen more than that. Now I think about it.
Dang, you committed a lot to Umineko. I feel like
And I
your turn.
forgot half of it, which was crazy. Because I was like, bro, what are
Nothing
these scenes? I don't
happened for
remember ever seeing this.
because nothing happened for a portion of this.
Yeah,
But
nothing
like I
happened, so I
feel like
tuned it out.
because like I watched a lot of Your Turn to Die, but I don't remember much of it. Like that one game that's kind of like Danganronpa.
Mm.
It's a visual novel, but you click things. That's trendy.
And I was gonna say, Little Busters almost made me cry earlier because I was like thinking about how relatable that character was. That she just wants everybody to forget about her. I was just thinking, like, damn, like I used to feel that way, like that lonely feeling. And like they have this poem that connects the main character to the girl, and it's a very like isolated poem, like thematically. And it's like, bro, this shit is so real, man. Because like it's like you think you're not good enough, so you just want everybody to forget about you, or if there's a better person, you just want people to talk to that person because you don't think you deserve the attention, and it should be the other person instead.
Mm.
Very sad, and it's just like, bro, it's just so fucking better. Like, I don't think Umineko will make me cry. When
You
they
don't
cry,
think?
but it's not us, it's just the Umis.
Actually, I feel like maybe it will. I don't know. I'm giving faith or trust or whatever. I think uh because like Lamento had made me happy and like cry out of happiness. And like I feel like it'll just depend on like what you find as like a good again, it's all preference, but
It needs to be sad.
lots of people say this game.
It needs to be a kurage. That what it's called.
Kurage.
Is that wrong?
Feel-
That means jellyfish.
Kurage.
Whoops. I gotta listen to more Jun Maeda. Oh, Nakige. That's what I meant. That's my favorite type.
You like slice of life and stuff.
Depressing stuff, but also very happy.
Mm, you like just like the melodramatic stuff.
Yeah.
This little
'Cause I'm young
busters
at
too.
heart, you know.
I feel like that's just like what old people like.
What?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of like old people like doggy gays, and then like all the younger people are edgy as fuck and like all like the gory shit.
Yeah, those
I like
damn zoomers.
I love Dempa visual novel games. I like Dempa. I like uh I like the I like the I like the it like I like um
Anyways, so with that, we'll be done. Don't know about tomorrow, but I think I have a haircut, and then after that I'm free. So
I have a test tomorrow. I don't
we'll
so
figure it out.
so chilly.
All right, we're gonna end the stream. See ya.
Mm, do you like